Hello, how are we all doing this evening? You all right? We're here to learn about how this organization, EcoCan, is sort of looking at it in a different way, trying to find an initiative that makes sense, in a sustainable way that makes sense to the consumer. Because the problem with us as consumers is that we're given the guilt, but none of the power to act on the responsibility. Is that not right?
My name's Nawfal Cockar. I'm the CEO and a co-founder of EcoCan. EcoCan is a recycling and green tech company, and we build infrastructure for the circular economy in Africa. That's how I describe EcoCan, right? At its core, we work with beverage producers to manage the packaging after it's been sold. And we do this through a deposit refund system. Some of you may be familiar with what a DRS is if you've been to Europe or to the Nordics or Australia or Canada. It's basically the same thing. So when a consumer buys a product, they can use the EcoCan app to check if the product carries a deposit refund amount, drink the product, go to an EcoCan agent, return the product, and get paid instantly via mobile money.
So, what specific problem with all that? Because this is plastic, this is glass, this is rubber, this is paper. How much of that is the real problem that your green tech is seeking to resolve? Because a lot of times people come up with technology for a problem that doesn't exist in the home market.
Basically, we're trying to solve two very interrelated, very interconnected problems in Kenya. The first one, as you talked about, is environmental packaging waste, and then the counterfeit issue. You know, everything, the counterfeit issue runs, almost every product is affected by the counterfeit issue, but our focus is on beverage products, right? So let's just start with the waste, right? Every day, millions of PET and glass bottles and aluminum cans are bought, right? And most of them end up in landfills, rivers, the street, outside there on Gong Road, you know, and there's very little post-consumer infrastructure to deal with that. The second problem is the counterfeit issue, but I'll talk specifically about counterfeit alcohol, right? So counterfeiters, what they do is they use branded, genuine packaging. They refill it with dangerous and low-quality liquids, and then they sell it in the market. And consumers sometimes don't know the difference between genuine products and counterfeit products, you know? And at the same time, brands lose revenue, they lose market share, governments struggle to enforce safety and compliance, and we have a solution for that, right? At EcoCan, we've built a model that addresses both problems at the same time, right? So we have our deposit refund system, which incentivizes consumers like yourselves to return the packaging meaning glass, PET, aluminum, back to an EcoCan agent and not just throw it away.
This model that EcoCan is implementing, it's a derivative of a model that's been tried and tested somewhere else. In some jurisdictions, it has been tried successfully. I think the Nordic countries have tried this very, very well. I think Finland, Norway have tried this very, very well. The Americans have tried it with some degrees of success. Australia has tried it, still teething their way through it. South Africa tried it, failed very terribly. What are the realities of your implementation here in Kenya?
So what we've done is that we've basically taken the reverse vending machine we have at the stores, but we have put it in an app, and the app is called EcoCan app. Please go download it if you haven't already. And so basically what it means that instead of having an RVM, you have an app. It's mainly two things. It's safe and it's scalable. The second one, it has to be scalable. Like Nawfal just mentioned, one RVM costs easily 30,000 euros. So instead of having it as an app, it's very scalable, and we are leveraging the current infrastructure And I'm not talking about recycling infrastructure per se, but instead, like these grocery retailers, for example, just as it's done in Finland, we have this kind of like layout that we can build on and then scale first within Kenya, then in the Eastern African market. And you know, who knows where it's going next, because even this very advanced system, it's only in place basically in the Nordic countries. So even European countries don't have it. So it's more than just like a global south problem.
This sustainability space is also a regulated space. So what are sort of, as you've grown and as you continue to envision growth and multiple partnerships and scaling out of the country, what are the sort of legal, jurisdictional, constitutional challenges that you found and opportunities as well?
As we know in Kenya, we have the law, but implementation is another problem, right? So I have been walking this journey with EcoCan from 2022, just after the act passed, when a few of the co-founders came to me and said, this is a great act, is it a good business model? We also want to help the environment. I was like, it is perfect. Businesses need it by law, which they do, but maybe Nema, Kanjo, and our other friends need to tighten it a bit more. And what they're doing is bridging the gap. Now, that's just a broad example of it. Now, taking it as it scales, there are various factors. Plastics, for example, in each different country have various grades and so on and so forth. You have to apply them. Now, when we're moving from country to country, it comes in from your basic incorporation to your licensing. In Kenya, they have NEMA licensing to do what they're doing and other licensing and provisions. After that, it's mindset. Mindset goes sometimes way beyond my responsibility as a lawyer, but this, I would say, the incentive model which EcoCan are coming up with do push the mindset, which also push implementation of the law, which pushes our constitutional right to cleanliness and health and living.
Basically, what we are doing with EcoCan is that we are fixing a broken value chain. Okay? So currently in Kenya, it's only approximately 10% of the beverage containers that gets recycled, which means 90% are littered. And those beverage containers carry, they are assets, basically. So what we do is that instead of having a single stream, we bring them into a circular model, and that's where the money comes into play. So what I'm trying to say is that it's a very solid business case at the same time, because often in the sustainability space, you have to pay to do the right thing. But now with EcoCan, you're basically paid by doing the right thing.
All right, now let's talk impact. What kind of ESG impact are you looking to achieve with this?
So when it comes to ESG, I think we're inherently built around ESG, not just as a reporting framework, but as a business driver. You know, let's start with the E, the environment. You know, we've already collected over 4 million bottles over the last 3 years and diverted them from landfills and dump sites and the streets and your neighborhoods. And every glass bottle that we recycled reduces the need for virgin materials, right? It also cuts CO2 emissions significantly. I think Sam will tell us more about that. But then there's the social side, you know. Our model formalizes jobs. There's so many informal waste pickers that we work with now that, you know, were previously homeless or were unemployed, and now they have the opportunity to have a stable income, dignity, and a path towards like contributing to our circular economy. You know, if ESG is about alignment of purpose and profit, I think I can confidently say that our model is just built on top of this alignment.
254 is basically a beer brewing company. So we were founded in 2018, and basically we wanted to bring Kenya's first line of fresh beer. So by fresh, I mean unpasteurized, unfiltered beer. In 254, what we know and what was mentioned here is that collection of our bottles does not happen that frequent, and especially recycling. So that's why we wanted to partner with EcoCan, and we are targeting having a higher than 90% collection rate and recycle rate for our bottles. So we've seen other models, and we feel EcoCan's model is the best suited to take us there. So the more we sell, the more we recycle. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Noel, Sam, Bran, Kush. It's been an interesting evening. Now I think I'm the one standing between us and free beer. Yeah? So I should stop standing between us and free beer. All right, round of applause.